Hello, everybody. It's Royce here, and I want to welcome you all to my Royce in the House YouTube channel. I don't know why I'm smiling. I'm very sad today. I've been sad ever since I've heard the news of, metal icon Ozzy Osbourne's passing. I'm a huge fan. You have no idea how big of a fan I am. I am. First of all, I want to thank everybody that's watching, and I want to thank everybody that's going to be watching in the future. As you know, we get a lot more views once the show's over than we usually get during the show. Sometimes, 10 or 20 times as much. But anyway, that's all good. It's all good. That's what we're doing here. So we're going to do the show tonight. We're going to talk about, Ozzy Osbourne. Love the guy. Tell you why I love him. He's just a great artist. Oh, look at that, Ozzy. Absolutely, man. Okay, so do me a proper, smash that like button. Let's get that off to a start because the bottom line is the algorithm watches how many likes you get. And if you reach a little milestone, they start looking harder for an audience for your shows. They go looking for people and placing it in front of them. So at least people have an opportunity to choose your show if they'd like to watch it. Anyway, it just helps with show growth. Pretty simple stuff. And if you're not already a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll get a one-time notification that a new show is coming on. Okay, guys, so here we go. This is my Ozzy Osbourne tribute, okay? Ozzy passed away yesterday at his home at the age of 76 with his family, surrounded by love. The sad, heartbreaking news comes just 17 days after his Back to the Beginning final concert, okay, in Birmingham, England. I streamed that. At my house. The stream ran about 2 hours behind the live show in Birmingham, which was attended by 45,000 people, but it was a worldwide stream that we watched too. Okay, so Ozzy Osbourne's deep desire to perform one final concert titled Back to the Beginning stemmed from a combination of things, okay? His lifelong passion for music and performing, and a heartfelt desire to say a final thank you to his dedicated fans, despite all his illnesses, health problems, and an almost obsession with getting the original four members together for a final time. Because as you know, the previous final tour, Bill Ward had some contractual disputes with people, and Bill Ward wasn't there. So Ozzy's solo drummer, Ozzy as a solo act, drummer Tommy Clufetis, who's an amazing drummer, one of my favorite drummers. I've met the man personally more than once. He's a fantastic drummer. He filled in, and Ozzy loves the guy, but he wasn't one of the original four. And Ozzy wanted to do a final show with the original four members of Black Sabbath. It was like I said, it became like an obsession to him. We started covering this. I started doing shows on this very topic at least a year ago, and we've been building up to the concert. It finally came when nobody was sure what was going to happen because of Ozzy's health issues. Sharon announced a couple of weeks before the show he could no longer walk. Prior to that, he was having trouble even talking because of the Parkinson's, and he had serious spinal injuries too. A TV accident almost killed him and busted up his neck, his back. There was pins and rods and all that kind of stuff put in when you've got a really bad injury. And then he fell in his home in the dark after going to the restroom, and he felt everything come loose. And Sharon goes, "Ozzy, is that you?" And he goes, "Call an ambulance." And he had busted everything loose again, and in multiple operations. The man has been in pain for so long. 2023 concerts were canceled. 2024 concerts were canceled. And he just was doing everything humanly possible to make it to this final show. And boy, did I love his performance. Okay, so the key reasons why he was determined to make this final performance a reality. Once again, gratitude to fans. In the 2023 interviews, Ozzy expressed his wish to perform one last show to thank his fans for their support throughout his life. He wanted to connect with the audience one last time and deliver a memorable farewell. I mean, Ozzy loved his fans. I want to tell you that right now. He was always calling out to them, saying he loves them all. He loves you all. He'd blow them kisses. I mean, he really loved his fans, okay? Despite battling Parkinson's disease, and enduring multiple injuries, including the spinal operations I was talking about. He just really wanted to get back on stage, and just do something, as people still wanted to see him, and they still were buying his records. The final concert held in his hometown, the entire Black Sabbath band's hometown, Birmingham, England, allowed him to perform with Black Sabbath for the first time in 20 years, and to share the stage with other rock legends, paying tribute to him and the band's legacy. It was a symbolic culmination of his remarkable career, and according to Entertainment Weekly, anyway, we'll go on. Okay, so Ozzy's final concert was a powerful and emotional event. And I'll tell you something, it was a very, very emotional event. When I was just watching when he was singing No More Tears at the concert, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house. I don't think my eyes were dry. In fact, they showed a guy and he's crying. They showed another guy and he's crying. And pretty soon those two guys hugged each other and were crying. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, this was powerful stuff. Okay. So he performed in front of a live audience of 45,000 people, and the stream went worldwide on pay-per-view, and all the profits were split among three charities. Two had to do with children, and one had to do with Parkinson's disease. He performed from seated in a throne. He was actually tied into the throne. They didn't want him trying to stand up and fall or something, okay? Because like I said, a couple of weeks before the show, it was announced that he could no longer walk. Okay, so he wanted to leave his fans a lasting memory of his spirit and gratitude. So prior to Black Sabbath's Back to the Beginning concert, they had another final concert as part of a previous tour called the End Tour. And that last show was also held in Birmingham in February 2017, dubbed the final date of their farewell tour. And it was documented in a film, Black Sabbath, The End of the End. Okay. So they originally were formed in the Ashton area of Birmingham, England in '68 by Geezer Butler, Tony Iommi, Bill Ward, and of course the one and only Ozzy Osbourne. In the district, the Via Park district. Okay. The band developed a style and we're going to talk about that style later, because it's like nothing you've ever seen before. They developed a style that came to be known as heavy metal and achieved worldwide success, selling over 75 million albums. Okay. There was kind of a sad part of the whole story here. Ozzy Osbourne was fired from Black Sabbath in 1979 for substance abuse, and he pursued a solo career. But he did occasionally, reunite with the group. The original lineup last performed together at Ozzfest in 2005. The band's previous last concert in 2017 as part of the End Tour, but with Tommy Clufetis replacing Bill Ward. So it wasn't the four original. And this is what Ozzy could not put closure on this last show without the four originals. And it became somewhat of an obsession to him to get all four of the original members. And they worked on it practically all year. And it was only a few months back when Bill Ward said, I'm in. Okay. So, what I want to say about Ozzy now is, Ozzy was 100% original. Before Ozzy, there was no one like him, if you know what I'm saying. You can't look at another performer and say, that's where Ozzy got it, or that's where Ozzy got this or got that. No, Ozzy was Ozzy, unlike any that came before him, and there'll probably be another like him. Ozzy didn't take direction on how to act, how to perform from anyone else. He was always Ozzy. His love for the fans was genuine. He would yell out that he loved them. He would blow them kisses. His wife, Sharon, was actually like a lioness protecting her family. If you said anything negative, even in a joking way about Ozzy, she'd take your head off. Ozzy was a loving family man, and he was devoted to his family and his wife. Okay. Devoted father, devoted husband. Okay. So, earlier in an interview with Tony Iommi, he stated, I just can't believe it. My dear friend Ozzy has passed away only weeks after our show at Via Park. It's just such heartbreaking news. I can't really find the words. There won't there will never be another like him. Geezer, Bill, and myself have lost our brother. My thoughts go out to Sharon and all the Osbourne family. Okay, we're gonna stop right there for a minute, and I want to go back to the chat and to Dawson. Dawson, were you a big Ozzy fan?
Check 1, 2.
Okay, can't hear you, brother. You sound like you're underwater again. I don't understand what's going on there. Let's see. Let me hit a button here. Try it now.
Check 1, 2.
No, 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 no. Okay. Well, you can ride shotgun anyway. Okay. All right, man. Okay, so what do we have here in the chat? Looks like we've got a lot of people chiming in here. And let's see. If you're feeling it, join later, brother. Okay, Rockin' Robin Bird. There's too many awesome songs. Oh my God, isn't there? Okay, Tim Henry. I also like Crazy Babies. Right on. Brian Bingham. My fave Ozzy Osbourne album is The Ultimate Sin. Now that's one that I don't have. Dawson, I'll go solo initially. I was going to go solo initially. Um, I don't think a lot of people knew that this was going to be kind of a normal stream, because normally what happens is midweek I don't know, I'm not always successful, but I try to put a pre-recorded on anywhere from 7 to 15 or 18 minutes. I'll pre-record it and put it on. It'll have a live chat. We'll have fun there. But I don't normally do a live stream like this with the live chat midweek. Sunday night 6:30. That's my typical time to come on. But you know what? I mean, Ozzy Osbourne just died. Are you kidding me? I had to come on and say something. Oberheim, good to see you. Hi, Angela. Hey, brother Stormcobb, how you doing, my man? Man, I'm just choked up over Ozzy dying. I just, even though he'd been sick for so long, suffered so much, so many operations on his back and his spine, the Parkinson's is getting worse. Just announced before Back to the Beginning a couple of weeks ago, it was announced he could no longer walk. You know, we did a lot of shows on this. Michael was a part of them, Michael Nolan with me, and we were both up in the air whether or not Ozzy was going to make it, and if he did, what the outcome was going to be. So I couldn't have been happier with those low expectations. I couldn't be happier about the way it turned out. I really enjoyed it. Ben Schneider, hi Stormcop, hi Angela, hi Ben. I think Ben is what she means. Rockin' Robin Bird, good to see everyone. Yes, it is. Angela, Ben, I'm sorry. It's okay. Storm Cobb, Ben Scheidegger, hey, brother. Okay, Angela, Ben. Yeah, it's good to see so many people here, because people aren't used to me being here like this on a Wednesday. So at least I was able to get the word out some. Oberheim, how are you, mate? My friend from down under Australia. Love the Australians. In particular, Oberheim. Douglas Gilbert, hey, good to see you, brother. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. Okay, Rockin' Robin Bird. Okay, great. Anyway, great. I mean, before the show even started, Rockin' Robin Bird gave me a super chat, and Michael Nolan gave me a super chat. So anyway, thank you all so much. And look at Michael 505. Okay, yeah. I don't know whether Michael's still on or not. He just got home and said he wasn't going to be able to come up. So we'll see what happens. I told him, if you change your mind later, come on in. Hi, Royce in the house, digging it, Brotha. Hey, Brotha, right on, man. I might have to put a link up here. You may have something really good to say, as usual. So anyway, I did. I just put a link up. I'm a little far in this. Yeah, I got a link up. It's down below where I'm at in the chat. Okay, so Erga Splitting. Hey, how you doing, brother? Good to see you, Erga Splitting, Loud and Boomer. Michael, right on, Doc. Good to see my buddy Michael, my brother from another. Eric Schultz. Hello, Royce. And Dawson. Yeah, Dawson was having technical difficulties. This second or third time he came on, he sounded like he was underwater and bubbles were coming out of his mouth. It was kind of odd. So I don't know what's going on there. He seemed to be on his cell phone because it was a small vertical picture. So anyway, hopefully he'll get that worked out eventually. Good evening, Dawson. Dwayne Chamberlain. Hey, good to see you, man. Storm Cop, right on. Ozzy Mo. Yay. Yeah, Ozzy made mistakes. Name one person who hasn't. Well, I can't. You guys will hear me make them tonight. All right. Okay, so you know what? We're going to get into this a little more here. I do have a little more of a, narrative I want to go into. And then I have a whole bunch of albums here, and I just want to get more of an open forum at some point. Eddie's Physical Media Talk. Eddie, my brother, been a while. I miss going to your show. I guess you're not doing it anymore, but I do see you around in the chat here and there on other shows. I'm usually silently in the background and no one even knows I'm there. But you know me, I used to enjoy going to your show, and I always let you know about it too, and told you how much I liked the music. Yeah, Eddie had a great show. He played great music. Dawson Walters, thank you, Royce. That was a wonderful intro. I'll join another time when I'm at my regular setup. Okay, Dawson, very good, sir. Thank you so much. Angela, hi, Royce. Hi, Angela. Eric Schultz, it's sad, but I'm glad that he was able to do the last show. You know what, Eric? That's absolutely right. Like I said, we didn't know what to expect. We kept hearing good news, then bad news, and then for a while, there was a while back where he couldn't talk very well. Maybe the Parkinson's, effects from the Parkinson's, maybe the effects from the spinal injuries. I don't know that I ever really knew what was affecting his voice. So between not walking, not talking, we just really didn't know what to expect. And I'm so glad. And I think it was Michael put on a show. Well, it was Michael put on a show earlier today, and wondering out loud whether or not it was this final show that contributed to his death. Maybe it took a lot out of him. And I said, Michael, in my humble opinion, I think that final show extended his life. He wanted to do it so bad. And we both talked about that a bunch of times. We wanted to do it so bad. He wanted to do it so bad that, it's like Sharon Osbourne said, I set this all up, helped set it all up, so Ozzy would have a reason to get out of bed in the morning. So, and it gave him that reason. So, who's to say? It may have taken a lot out of him, and that could be an absolute fact. He looked good up there, though. I mean, yeah, he couldn't walk, he couldn't stand up. He was strapped into that throne. The last thing any of us would have wanted to see is for him to try to jump up and fall face forward on the stage. That would have been a nightmare. Hey, 45 RPM, how you doing, brother? Yeah, good to see you, man. Jersey Devil, Ben Schadiger, my brother. Eric Schultz, Erga Splitting Loudon Boomer. Michael Nolan still in the chat. Good to see you, brother Michael. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna let me see. How far am I from the bottom of the chat? Pages again. Okay. Whatever. All right. So let's I got a little more to say here, and I've got albums to show and CDs to show, and I want to hear a whole lot more from the chat. So here we go. So Ozzy Osbourne was fired from Black Sabbath in 1979, primarily due to excessive drug and alcohol use. His first solo album. Now, before I talk about his first solo album, he went and got a hotel room and was not only drinking and snorting himself to death, alcohol and cocaine. And Sharon Arden at the time, manager Don Arden's daughter, showed up at the hotel room and helped Ozzy, helped him to get cleaned up, helped him to back off on the drugs and alcohol, talked him into getting a solo career started, helped him get it all organized, get some people together. And so she was a massive help. Okay. And so his first solo album finally came out, Blizzard of Blizzard of Oz with the incredible guitarist Randy Rhoads, who later died in a plane accident. Um, that's a whole nother story. I actually did a show on that. Okay, Blizzard of Oz was actually Ozzy's first and best-selling solo release. It was released in the UK in 1980 and on the US in 81. Now remember, it was in 79 that he got fired. So by 80 and 81, he was already releasing his first album. Ozzy's solo career was incredibly successful, incredibly, eclipsing his work with Black Sabbath in terms of both commercial and critical acclaim, especially in the early years. His solo albums like Blizzard of Oz, Diary of a Madman achieved multi-platinum status and spawned iconic hits such as Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley. He also found continued success throughout the 80s and 90s with albums like No More Tears reaching the top of the charts. And I love that album too, as well as the two I mentioned earlier, Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. Great stuff. Furthermore, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame both as a member of Black Sabbath and a solo artist, highlighting his significant impact on the music industry. So we're gonna get back to the chat here, see what's going on in the chat. We got Novice Nick, and Nick, I did put up a link once again if you want to pop on and share some Aussie stuff with us. The link is up. I don't know. I can't see it right now because I'm so far behind in the chat, which is typical. Okay, so we're going to work our way down through some of it. I want to thank you all for being here. I really appreciate everybody showing up and supporting the show. Hi, Royce. Hi, chat. Thank you, 45 RPM. Jersey Devil. My buddy Jersey Devil's here. Seeing Ozzy Sabbath live 7 times. Man, I've only seen him twice. But I saw him twice, and I saw him in 1971. And we're going to talk about that in a minute because it was like an out-of-body experience. Honest to God, it was. Okay, so anyway, leave your comments in here, folks. Let me know. Did you see Ozzy in concert? Did you see Black Sabbath in concert? Dawson says, hit that like button, folks. Hit the like button for the doves. The doves and the bats. Hit it for the doves and the bats. Novice, getting on the road. Towers aren't friendly. Sorry, I can't. Okay. No worries, Novice. Just thought I'd make sure you got the earlier message. Ben Scheidegger, 45 RPM. Nice to have a little chat celebration when we lose a rock performer. Isn't that the truth? I've just been sick over this whole thing. I mean, it's been emotional. It has. It really has. I mean, that band has had a huge impact on my life, and I've been a fan since 1970. I mean they had a big impact. I mean, it's like I actually don't remember when the death of a member of a band's had this impact on me. I really don't remember. I mean, of course, John Bonham, that was huge too, but that would be the only thing that rivaled it. And I don't know. I think this hit me even harder. So anyway, Storm Cop at Royce in the house. Congratulations on crossing the 2,000 mark. Thank you, Storm Cop. I hit 2014 today. Things get weird. You hear Michael talk about it too. I got 2014, 4 or 5 days ago. Then I dropped back down to 2010 subscribers, then 11, then 10, then 12, then 10, and then today I'm back to 14. So hopefully that'll keep growing. If there's anybody out there watching right now, whether you're in the chat or not, and you're not a subscriber, hit that on-screen subscribe button. And if you don't mind, hit the notification bell too, and you'll get a one-time notification when new shows are coming on. You don't want to miss out. We have a lot of fun here. And here's old Eddie's Physical Media. Thank you for your kind words, brother. No, Eddie, I mean every word of it. You know that. I liked your show. I caught it every chance I got, which was most of the time. Hey. How are you, Novice Nick?
All right, how you doing?
Okay, I'm doing fine. I thought you were telling me because the towers that.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But yeah, I wasn't a big Ozzy fan of
No.
Sabbath, but I respect the work they do or
Oh
did.
yeah.
Ozzy, of course, was an icon. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that. I can't add anything to it, but
Okay, that's fine.
as someone that was not part of the Ozzy Nation, uh, the world still loves and respects a man for his talents.
Yeah,
We're
they do.
you're talking about our fallacies and faults that we all have. You know,
Right.
so
Yeah.
just some are a little harsher on themselves than others.
Some are. Yeah. Yeah.
Some
Some
people
of them
wake
are
up
very
late in
harsh.
life. Evidently, Ozzy woke up late in life and realized how precious life was,
Right.
and and God bless him for that.
Well,
Uh,
he did love his family, Nick. He loved his wife and he loved his kids. And
uh,
I love that reality TV show he used to have.
yeah,
People would say, "Man, the guy's really off in the head." You know?
well,
But anyway, Douglas Gilbert here says, "I saw Black Sabbath 3 times.
oh
Sabbath
wow,
Bloody Sabbath, Sabotage 2 times. Friday and Saturday with Ruby Stars, Grey Ghost, and Diary of a Madman with Def Leppard. Excellent shows. Oh yeah, yeah. The two that I saw were excellent too. In fact, like I mentioned earlier, I still have never come to grips with how to explain what my first show concert with Black Sabbath was, what it was like. It was in 1971, and oh, I'm telling you, it was like I said earlier, it was like an out of body experience. It was like a body and head rush continuously, almost to the point where I almost got up and I mean anyway, I'll go on. Michael Nolan. Hi, Caitlin. All good. Okay, right on. Yeah, there was that. Yeah.
I'd like to tell everybody to tap the like button, and if you'd be so kind to subscribe to Roy's show.
Thank
It's
you,
a
Nick.
wonderful show. I enjoy my time there when I'm so privileged to be on Sundays. Royce has a really nice show. Been doing it for quite some time now. Always a different topic. Always interested. Always interesting. So I just wanted to holler that out, and I'm coming up to a dead zone. So I just want to say
Okay.
peace, and I'll
Well,
be
yeah.
listening
Well,
off and on.
thanks so much for your comments, Nick. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thanks so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah. Thank you,
Bye bye.
Jersey Devil. Okay. Bye, Nick. Bye, Nick. Talked to my eldest brother earlier, and when he learned about Ozzy's death, he immediately called his drinking buddies, and they reminisced about the music. That's totally cool, Kate. I don't feel like I have any drinking buddies anymore. I almost had a solo beer before the show started, but you know. Okay, so anyway, folks, here we go. All right. So, what about my personal journey with Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne? 1970, with the release of Black Sabbath's first self-titled album, I became an instant fan. Instant. Oh, there was nothing to think about. I absolutely loved the music. Okay. In March of 72, I saw Black Sabbath at the Las Vegas Convention Center, where I saw all the concerts in my youth because I lived right there in Henderson, Nevada. Wild Turkey and Michael are like this. Wild Turkey and Yes opened for Black Sabbath that night. Wild Turkey and Yes. Oh, look at this. Hold on, hold on, hold everything. Hold everything. I got to thank my great buddy here, Ben Scheidegger. Ben Scheidegger has just given the show, supported the show with the super chat. The power of two. I love it. Two. Okay, Ben. You know how much I appreciate this. I really appreciate it. I really, really do, man. Thank you so much. And also, let's see. Uh, Natalie last week gave me a super chat of 20, and Ben gave me a super chat of the power of five. We all have fun with this. Okay, thanks, guys. So let me get back. Ben, thank you again. Get back to where we were. So, so like I was saying, Las Vegas Convention Center, my first experience at a Black Sabbath concert, Wild Turkey and Yes opened for them. Now, again, I've even tried tonight to explain what it felt like to be at my first Black Sabbath concert. And you know what? There were feelings and sensations running through my body and mind that I'd never experienced before. It affected me both body and mind. It was completely surreal. That's all I can say. I never really had a concert have that effect on me. And I had their 8 tracks and stuff. I've been listening to their music, but to be in there live, I mean, it's just hard to describe. It was like the air was like thick to walk through. The sound was heavy and strong and powerful. You could feel it running through your body. It was just, you had to have been there. Okay. So after I saw them there in 72, I moved to California, got married in 73. I got married in 73 to my wife, Betty. 52 years and counting. And by 1974, they held the California Jam. Okay. It's kind of it was a festival. It was a festival. And Black Sabbath played there, Deep Purple, the Eagles, Black Oak, Arkansas, Rare Earth, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Seals and Croft, Earth, Wind and Fire, and some others, anyway, and I love Black Sabbath with Ozzy. Yes, there were other talented singers in Black Sabbath, but after 7 years of listening to Ozzy do the singing for Black Sabbath, it just wasn't the same, listening to anybody else do it. So I was always an Ozzy fan of Black Sabbath after that. There were some very talented people that sang for Black Sabbath after Ozzy. But, after he left, I had a hard time. Like I said, it'd already been 7 years of listening to Ozzy. I mean, just imagine one of your favorite bands and one of your favorite singers. You love the guy's voice. You've been listening to him for 7 years, and you wake up and he's gone and somebody else is singing in his place. It's really hard to even want to make the transition. You have to work at it. So anyway, but having already been a fan, it's like 9 years with Ozzy as the singer, he will always be the voice of Black Sabbath for me. So his solo career was incredible. Even being aware of all the health issues, I was still floored by the news of his passing. The news was sad and depressing. I'm still depressed about it. I'm still saddened by it. It affected me deeply, and it will for some time to come. And that's just the way it is. I mean, it was like I remember feeling that when Elvis died. I grew up in Vegas. Elvis always had a residency out there. Dad took us to the drive-in to see all his movies and things like that. And so we were all fans from little kids of Elvis because we had Elvis albums in the house. So let's open up the show and get some input from the chat now, and just keep going here. So, like I said, I felt that way. I didn't even feel that way as strongly when Jimi Hendrix, who was my favorite at the time, died. And I was a huge Jimi Hendrix fan, huge Black Sabbath fan, huge Ozzy fan, Elvis fan from the time that I was a little kid. We had it in the house, And, I think the only other thing that really affected me like that, other than family members passing, was like when John F. Kennedy got shot. I'm sitting in the classroom and they announce it over the PA system, and the teacher turns the lights off and puts her head down on her desk and starts bawling. Oh man, that was something to see, folks. So anyway, we're going to start working the chat here a little bit. Looks like I may have missed something. I don't know which way to go to find it. Oh, there it is. Angela. Wow. Look at that, Angela. Thank you so much. I appreciate this, helping the show out like this. I gotta make note of this so I can thank you again. $666 for a super. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Angela. Wow. Okay, so let's back up a little bit and keep working our way. I know Ben really loves Sabbath with James Dio and stuff like that, and I respect that. I have a James Dio album independent of the Black Sabbath James Dio album I have, and he's a very talented and I mean he's really a sophisticated singer and very talented, and I really appreciate his voice. So anyway, I don't blame you one bit. Hey, there's Dan. My goodness, Dan just popped in. You know what, Dan? I just put a link up. If you'd like to join me and just help me go through with the chat and have some conversation and stuff here. Of course, there's Michael's here too. Bill K. What do you know? Bill K. Royce. I'd never seen Ozzy in a Black Sabbath show. But as you know, I did meet him in recovery rooms. Right? Okay. Now, I'm not sure that I knew that, to be honest with you. Well, that's a really interesting story, Bill. Thanks for sharing it with us. I actually did hear you say that before. Love Deep Purple. Just the facts, man, saying hi to Michael. Got to say hi to my brother Michael. Bill K. Okay, just the fact. What kind of recovery, Bill? Yeah, that's what we didn't get the details on. Okay, the Alice Cooper group will be having a live question and answer. Oh, no kidding, Caitlin. Thank you. And Angela, once again, thank you so much for helping the show. Not that I think for 1 minute Ozzy was evil, so please take this with the humor it is intended. Okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think he was evil either. He had too much love in his heart for his fans, his family. He was the Prince of Darkness because he sung. He had that dark voice lyrically. And let's see, Dan. He went through the Betty Ford's. Oh, okay, okay, and Bill was there too. Right on, right on. Bill K. Rancho Mirage. There you go. Michael Nolan. I thought I met Ozzy in recovery, but it wasn't him. Turns out the drugs hadn't worn off yet. Denied. First time Ozzy went to Betty Ford, he thought they'd teach him to drink like a gentleman. He thought he'd go so crazy because he hadn't learned that. Sharon obviously lied to him, so he would go. That's awesome. What a great story. Tim Henry. Ozzy and Lemmy both died exactly 17 days, I'm sorry. Now, wow, that's an interesting story, Tim. Wow, crazy. Oh, look at this. Rockin' Robin Bird. The power of two more. Thank you. Thank you, Rockin' Robin. Thank you so much. Deeply appreciated. All right. Power of two more. Thanks, Royce and Ozzy. Yeah. Thanks, Ozzy. I'm really glad I'm doing this show. I mean, I've done, well, when Jimmy Buffett died, I did a tribute show to Jimmy Buffett. There was other people at the time doing tribute shows, like it seemed like every week. And Dan knows who I'm talking about. It was a couple of years ago. So a lot of us just kind of left the tribute shows to that one person who seemed like they were making their show a tribute show to people that were dying for a while there. That was kind of a joke among some of the people. Okay, that's interesting, Bill. Thank you for sharing. I'm in recovery myself. Well, Ben, thanks for sharing that, brother. We're all supporting you, man. We're all supporting you big time. Had the honor of seeing Ozzy 3 times, twice with Sabbath, and 1 time solo. Gutted at the passing, but he's out of pain. Yeah, you know what, Stephanie? And by the way, Stephanie, nice to see you here. You've probably been on before, but sometimes the chat goes so fast you miss people. But thank you so much. By the way, Stephanie, If you don't mind hitting that like button if you haven't already, and if you're not already a subscriber, hate to overload you here, but please hit that subscribe button and help the show to continue growing. And thanks so much for your comment. This is awesome. And you know, Stephanie's right. He's out of pain now. And I don't even know what that would be like to be laying in bed just trying to deal with your pain with your meds and stuff and hoping tomorrow is better than today. And so much stuff comes with those pain meds. I mean, constipation. And I mean, they say Elvis died of constipation from all the meds he was taking. I only saw Black Sabbath once in 1976, but saw Ozzy numerous times at Ozfest. That's awesome, Dan. In solo shows. That's fantastic, brother. Wow. Wow. Caitlin Oberheim, Bill K. Kids soon found out that he was attending the meeting. As soon as the van pulled up from the Betty Ford Center, kids accosted him as he got out of the van. I can imagine. What year was that, Bill? I pulled some of those kids off of him. Wow. You and Ozzy are tight. You and Ozzy are tight. Goodly to see you, Caitlin. Have you been okay? Very nice, Oberheim. I've been thriving. How about you, Oberheim? I'm glad you're thriving. I mean, I really am. I know I laugh, but Bill K. Ozzy thanked me and shook my hand. Oh my God. You got to shake the Prince of Darkness's hand? Do you know how I feel right now hearing that? Okay. I'm doing okay. Mainly listening to radio plays as of late. The Shadow, Dragnet. Quite a story, Bill. That, you know what, Bill? That is an amazing story, man. You are like a rock star. Harry Lime. That is incredible. Okay, folks. We're doing good with the chat here. We're catching up. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do now. Okay, I want to show my Ozzy and my Sabbath music. Okay, and I'm going to start with Ozzy solo. Okay, I have this wonderful double CD here, and oh man, is this thing loaded! And I'm just going to give you an example. I won't read all 33 or 4 tracks, you know, but I will give you an example of what's on here. Look at the dove on the back. Okay, so you've got Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley, Goodbye to Romance. I mean, these are amazing songs. Okay, Diary of a Madman, Paranoid, Bark at the Moon, Miracle Man, Fire in the Sky. Oh my God, I'll skip down to disc 2. I didn't read them all. Mama, I'm Coming Home. Love that song. No More Tears. Love that song. Time After Time. Wow. I'm taking this out to the car now. I'm taking it out to the car. Make sure I can listen to it as much as possible. Thunder Underground. See You on the Other Side. You know, how timely is that? See you on the other side. Yes, we will, Ozzy. We will see you on the other side. Get Me Through, Dreamer, No Way. Okay, so that's Ozzy solo. All right. Then I have, and don't ask me why well, I do know why I have long had an Ozzy No More Tears. But when I was given 160 CDs by somebody that was living in an apartment building that was building new stairs on, I got a second No More Tears. Okay. So, and this is such a great album. I mean, such a great, well, CD actually. Anyway, you can interchange album with that, right? Okay, then I'll show my lone Black Sabbath, and this is an amazing one here because it is 2 CDs, the original members of Black Sabbath, 2 new studio recordings, Psycho Man and Selling My Soul. 16 all-new live recordings of their greatest hits, 28-page booklet, a 28-page 4-color booklet, excuse me, extensive liner notes, and rare photos. And oh man, is this thing loaded. War Pigs, Behind the Wall of Sleep, Fairies Wear Boots, Electric Funeral, Spiral Architect, Into the Void, Snowblind. If I'm struggling reading, it's because all of the letters overlap one another. Makes it a little difficult. Yeah, it's more difficult to see doing that. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, Orchidal Lord of the World, Dirty Women, Black Sabbath, Iron Man, Children of the Grave, Paranoid, Psycho, Selling My Soul. This is I had that out in my vehicle for quite a while. That is a great album. Okay, now we're going to show off some. Well, this one's not vinyl, because it's a picture disc. So I have Blizzard of Oz on a picture disc, and I have played this before I bought the little frame for it because I have other Blizzard of Oz's. And so we're covering the Ozzy solo stuff first. I also have in blue splattered vinyl Diary of a Madman. Okay, Diary of a Madman. It's a great one. Over the Mountain, Flying High Again, You Can't Kill Rock and Roll, Believer, Little Dolls Tonight, SATO, and Diary of a Madman. And look at Ozzy on the back. Man. Now, in addition to the 160 CDs that were given to me, I was also given a big box of albums from a flooded storage unit. And here's a lot of them look like this. Some of them had mold growing inside the sleeves and covers. And there's a few of them I haven't even cleaned up yet. But it was a lot of good stuff. I mean, there was a lot of good stuff in there. This place absolutely excellent. So that's Diary of a Madman #2. Okay. Then this is my final Ozzy solo album that I have right now. And that is a wonderful album, Patient #9. And I will tell you what, if you don't have Patient #9, you are really, really missing out. This is an amazing album. Not only is it got amazing music on it, but I've got to show this. Sometimes I just have to show when we have the colored vinyl. I found this double album for something like $32 down in Orchid. And look at this vinyl. Look at this vinyl. Double album. Songs on both sides, for both sides are on this side. But you know what's amazing? What's really amazing are all the guest artists that are on this album. You've got, let's see, Zakk Wylde plays on quite a few of them because he's been Ozzy's, guitar player for his solo project for several years now. But it would be easier to read what I wanted to read off the back of the album here. Here's Ozzy. And the one thing about this album is all the guests he had. Okay, the first song, Immortal, he had Mike McCready. The second song, Patient #9, Jeff Beck. This was recorded. This album came out after Jeff Beck died, but he had recorded this before he died. Parasite with Zakk Wylde playing guitar. No Escape from Now with Tony Iommi. Tony Iommi is back playing guitar with Ozzy on this Ozzy solo. Then One of Those Days featuring Eric Clapton. Eric freaking Clapton. Okay. And that's what, now maybe you're getting an idea why I think this is such a great album. We have so many great guest artists on here. Thousand Shades, Jeff Beck again. So there's two songs Jeff Beck played on. Okay. Mr. Darkness, Zakk Wylde again. Nothing Feels Right, Zakk Wylde again. And Evil Shuffle, Zakk Wylde. Okay, then Degradation Rules, Tony Iommi again. Dead and Gone, God Only Knows, and Dark Side Blues. And I think that was all his regular band, But I mean, hey, if you don't have this, I'm highly recommending it right now. And I know Michael Nolan will highly recommend it too. We both absolutely love this album. Okay, so those are my Ozzy solo albums. So now I want to show you, I have Black Sabbath self-titled album, their very first album. I think it was released in '70, Black Sabbath. And this is a great, great album. Okay, I love this album. Okay, I also have what's called the Rhino of it. And in case there's somebody out there that doesn't really know, let me tell you what makes this a Rhino. well, 180-gram vinyl. That doesn't make it a rhino, but it's cut from the original analog master tapes by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio, pressed at Optimal Media, heavyweight gatefold jacket, exclusive insert with commentary by engineer Tom Allen, and it's limited edition. So it was the way it was made. This is kind of the upper end, this rhino stuff, you know. Down here in red, it says rhino. The rhino stuff is always really, really good. Okay. Okay, now, during COVID, I tried to get into our little record store downtown, and the guy said, no, reservation only, one person at a time. And you can see my disappointment. I wanted to look at records. And he grabbed this out of the window, the big window in front. This was in the window with some other albums, and it was a original pressing of Black Sabbath Paranoid. And he goes, here, give me $35 and take this if you want it. And I gave him $35, and it's original pressing. It might have been $29. I really honestly don't remember exactly. So I've got the Rhino of Black Sabbath's first self-titled album, and I have an original pressing of Black Sabbath Paranoid. You know, what a bunch of songs we have here, folks. War Pigs, Paranoid, Planet Caravan, Iron Man, I Am Iron Man, Electric Funeral, Hand of Doom, Rat Salad, and Fairies Wear Boots. I love this album, man. I love this album. And after that, I have Black Sabbath, Master of Reality. Now, this is an absolutely excellent album, too. They have a lot of really good ones. It's got Sweet Leaf, After Forever, Embryo, Children of the Grave, Orchids, Lord of the World, Solitude, and Into the Void, which is also the name of Geezer Butler's book about the band. Okay, after Master of Reality, we have Volume 4, another excellent Black Sabbath album. Okay. Anyway, great album, another great album. And then we have, and I don't have it all either, then we have Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. And I remember having this, I think on an 8-track in my car for like what seemed like forever. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, A National Acrobat, Fluff, Sabracadabra, Killing Yourself to Live. Sounds like a lot of us. Who Are You? Looking for Today, and Spiral Architect. All right. Cool picture on the back. Wow, trippy picture on the front. After that, we have Sabotage. Sabotage, baby. Black Sabbath, Sabotage. Okay, and we got Hole in the Sky, Don't Start, Too Late in parentheses, Symptom of the Universe, Megalomania, Thrill of It All, Superstar, TZAR, Am I Going Insane, and The Writ. Okay, last one here. We'll show this and get back to the chat. We have Technical Ecstasy. Well, that's a crazy picture on the front. Technical Ecstasy, folks. Not bad. Not a bad album. I won't put it down. Okay, folks. Thanks for putting up with me. Let's get into some chat here and see what's going on. We've been joined by some new people, and yeah, interesting living happened yesterday here in England. Okay. All right. So right off the bat, we got George Pita, Psychos Platter, saying hi to a few of the friends in the chat. Tim Henry, Music Life. Good evening, Psycho. Caitlin Stoddard, great album. Yeah, not sure which one you're talking about, but I think they're all great. Hope all is good, Paul. Yeah, I see you over there, Oberheim. I see you over there checking Paul's show out. Psychos Platters. Well, Brandon, a little under the weather. Yeah. Yeah, this whole thing with Ozzy's got me feeling under the weather. It's got me depressed, and just, I don't know, feeling anxious, depressed. It's just such a bummer. You know, I've spent so much time covering him this past year. I swear, if I've got less than 8, 9, 10 shows I've done on the last year on Ozzy, I would be surprised if I have less. I'd be surprised if I had less than 10. I've done everything from Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, the Lost Jam session, to I started covering Ozzy's illnesses and all the concerts he was having to cancel, the concert he still wanted to do, the final concert with the 4 original members. And we just tracked that. And Michael Nolan and I did shows on that. And we were really following this, and we didn't know what to expect. I mentioned that before, because it was just announced, I think, 2 weeks before the concert that he could no longer walk. And it wasn't that long ago he was having trouble with his voice and speaking. I'm pretty sure that was Parkinson's. Royce Rhino also did a hi-fi. Yes, they did. And I think they were doing a reissue of that recently, weren't they, Jersey Devil? I'd love to get that. Wow. Wow, Michael. A Rhino of Paranoid? Hi-fi Rhino? Crazy. Try a Fatima cigarette. The only long cigarette which is smooth and has a special blend. I'll have to look into that. Brandon, will do. Oh, that's cool, Stephanie. See, Stephanie said, interesting thing happened yesterday here in England. Oh, good. You're from England. Awesome, Stephanie. We like having a worldwide audience. Not long after Ozzy's passing was announced, it absolutely poured with rain and there was thunder. Wow. Oh man, that's like a sign from the heavens, I think. That's amazing. You don't experience things like that every day. Thanks for sharing that, Stephanie. I think that's really cool. I've had some experiences that were kind of a trip, you know. I don't even want to get into it, but I won't. Okay. Oberheim, apologies, Paul. Just trying to lighten the mood with an advertisement from Dragnet. I do sincerely hope you get well. Stephanie, strange day, Caitlin. That sounds like a very strange day. Okay. Keep you in my prayers, Paul. Well, everybody needs to be in prayers. My second favorite Sabbath album. Hey, Dan, I'm so far behind in the chat. It could be any one of the albums I picked up. I would like to hear what it is. If you don't mind just reposting what your favorite and second favorites are. I'll try to pick up the pace here. War Pigs is a favorite. I love that song. I love that song. Very appropriate right now for what's going on in the world. I know it's his greatest hits album, but I never see anyone talking about it. We sold our soul for rock and roll. Well, that's cool. Michael Nolan. Hey, George. Jersey Devil, Technical Ecstasy. Ozzy called cover art two robots pissing on each other. That is funny. I'm glad we're able to all share some laughs here. I love escaping from the real world and entering to the world of music. Black Sabbath and Ozzy solo. Absolutely. Boy, that's a way to escape right there. I know of the album and used to own a CD of that one, Dan. Yeah. Usually has a way of getting rid of the blues. You know, it really, really does. Really does. I love the fact that Ozzy went out with the full metal jacket of every band that he had ever influenced. Royce, yeah, no, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, all those bands there, he influenced them. And you know what? I can't think of anybody that influenced Ozzy. Ozzy is an original. Ozzy is Ozzy and nobody else. You won't find anybody that you would look at today and go, oh, that's where Ozzy got it. That's where Ozzy got it. I was wondering where Ozzy got that. No, Ozzy's Ozzy. Ozzy came up with everything he does on his own. including biting the head off a bat, and I think even taking a couple of bites out of a dove. I'm not saying I'm happy with that one, but you know, Ozzy's Ozzy. There'll never be another Ozzy. There's never been one before him. He is original. So yes, there was a lot of people that played there that took things from Black Sabbath, took things from Ozzy, and we all saw it go down. I know I streamed it. Master of Reality, #1, right on. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath 2, I love that one too, and Paranoid 3. Okay, that's a good lineup. I may have to listen to all three of those again tonight. Thank you, Dan. That's a great selection right there. Good call, Dan. George Pita, Michael Nolan. Michael, you have fans here, brother. Dan and I agree regarding Master of Reality. Okay, right on. Right on. Fun fact, Speak of the Devil was recorded in empty arena and Ozzy re-recorded vocals in the studio. Oh, that is a fun fact. Thank you. I always loved Black Sabbath from day one. Day one a fan. Royce in the house. You know, George, that was me too. Day one a fan of Black Sabbath. Day one a fan of, you know, Led Zeppelin, of course. Everybody was a day one fan of the Beatles during the British invasion and so many of the bands that followed them. You know, the Stones. I was always a fan of the Stones. You know, the old Stones, you know, Paint It Black, You Devil, and Time Is on My Side, and Jumping Jack Flash. We can go way back, and they were always good, especially for the time period they were in. Always good. Ruby Tuesday. I love the Rolling Stones. That's a great band. We may have to do a Stones show again. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've covered the Stones. 70s Rockin' Kid. Yeah, so this has been great, man. I appreciate everybody that's come and joined us tonight. We've been going for an hour now. I'll go longer if you guys, you know, want to go a little longer. Got more you want to add? We're all ears here. If you got something you want to put up on the chat, we've got George Pita here. Master of Reality is my favorite also, but all of the first six are statistical tie, honestly. Well, I like hearing that because you know what? You say the same thing about so many Led Zeppelin albums. Your favorite happens to be the one you're listening to at the time because you're really getting into it, you're grooving on it, and you think, man, I didn't realize how much I like this one. It's my favorite. You put another one in the next day, and you're saying the same thing before you're done listening to it. So yeah, that happens for sure. Tim Henry of Music Life. I would like to see the conversation between Ozzy and RJD when they see each other. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that would be cool. That would definitely be cool. I think we'd all like to see that. Rockin' Robin Bird. I really love Sabotage. Well, good. I like Sabotage too. I think it's a great album. I think it's a great album. Good call, Jersey. Yeah, my Master of Reality. That's always a good call. Always a good call. George Pita. Love the Stones too. Keith is still in the lottery, laughing out loud. Yeah, Keith is still in the lottery. That's right. Wow. You wonder for how much longer. There's been a lot of those guys that really abused themselves down through the years. But look at Willie Nelson. He did all the same things. I think he's 91 or 2 now. Just the facts, man. Black Sabbath and Ozzy helped me keep my sanity when I was stationed overseas during the Vietnam conflict. Listen to Sabbath nonstop. God, I love that, Dan. That's great. That's how I would have gotten through it. That's how I would have gotten through it. Me too, Rockin' Robin Bird. I just got Sabotage and listened to it only to be blown away. Yeah, I tell you, you think you've got all the good stuff, then you go out and buy another one. That's good stuff too. That's how it is with these guys, man. So many of them. Fun fact, RJD said to Ozzy Osbourne that he thought Vivian Campbell as his own Randy Rhoads. He thought of Vivian Campbell, I'm sorry, as his own Randy Rhoads. Well, that's cool. Yeah. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, the chat's on fire here. Stephanie Harrington, let's see if I can say that. Harringtonio, Gothic and Romance Writings. Oh, nice. Are you an actual author? Ronnie James Dio, sure they would have respected each other. Oh yeah, yeah. What's not to like? George Pita, Caitlin under my thumb, the squirmy dog that once put me down. What a good feeling that is. Uh, I love Keith Richards even before I saw him with Chuck Berry on Hail Hell Rock and Roll. Yeah, Chuck Berry wasn't real nice to Keith Richards. You know, Keith Richards had his own style of playing Chuck Berry songs, and Chuck used to rip on him for that. It wasn't. Isn't there a story that Keith Richards went over and picked up Chuck Berry's guitar and I don't know if Chuck slapped him or punched him or something. I don't remember the story, but like I said, Chuck was a little brutal on Keith, who was, you know, Chuck was his idol. Keith just wanted to play with him. Probably didn't even ask for any money. He just wanted to go on tour with him. Okay, so Stephanie, yes, I've written 12 audiobooks. Hey, that's fantastic. 12 audiobooks. Are they under the name you're showing here? Because if they are, I want to recommend everybody look this up. And where do you buy them? Like Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and places like that? 12 audiobooks. Yeah, tell us more, Stephanie. We'd like to hear it. He punched him in the nose. Thank you, George. I knew something like that happened. I just couldn't remember exactly what it was. Keith Richards getting his butt kicked by good old Chuck. The way Chuck chided Keith in the film was belittling. Yeah, he was belittling him. Totally. Stephanie, where can I buy them? Hey, Stephanie, inquiring minds want to know. Keith loved Chuck Berry. Yeah, he idolized Chuck Berry. Okay, Stephanie Harrington, I am hoping to release online very soon. Awesome. Well, keep us all posted. Keep coming and keep us all posted because we want to know more. Romance writing. Ooh, I'll buy some of those for my wife. I'll continue buying more books for myself. No, I'm kidding. Nothing wrong with it. I love romance writings. My brother married a woman. Actually, he ran an ad looking for a female singer because your band got paid more money in Las Vegas if you had a female in the band. So he ran an ad looking for a female singer, and this gal answered the ad, and she joined the band, sang some good Beatles tunes and stuff like that. And then before I knew it, things went south with her and her husband, and she moved in with my brother and was buying him all kinds of equipment with equity from her and her husband's house. Anyway, I won't go any further than that. I went too far already. Okay. Good luck on your audiobook release, Stephanie. Yes, Stephanie. We want to please keep us posted on all this. Okay. Rest in peace, Ozzy. Oh my God. Rest in peace, Ozzy. I'm telling you right now, folks, moment of silence for Ozzy Osbourne. Thank you all, but you know what, James Redding, thank you so much for saying that when you did. Of course, we're all grieving. We're all thinking about Ozzy. Uh, we're all thinking rest in peace, and we love your brother and Godspeed. But that was just kind of a stark reminder there that we hadn't really done anything jointly online. So thank you so much, James. I appreciate it. Okay, cool, Caitlin. What's the genre? I subscribe, Stephanie. Right on. Man, we're really hooking people up here, folks. Hooking them up. Caitlin. Okay, the chat just took a big jump. Cheers, Michael. I subscribed, Stephanie. Yeah, I thought I was at the bottom of the chat and it just took a big jump, and I am not at the bottom of the chat. But silence for Ozzy Osbourne. I just subbed to Stephanie. Awesome, guys. Awesome. A very tribal channel. Excellent. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to go. Okay. Oh, I'm coming up on her. Okay. Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne's father prophetically told Ozzy, do something very special or you're going to go to prison. Ozzy ended up doing both. Rest in peace, the legend Ozzy. Great story, Ben. You know, there's some funny stuff. Ozzy would walk around with things like a faucet on a rope hanging around his neck and an old bathroom, vanity faucet. Just wild stuff, Okay, so Stephanie, let's just take a little look here. What I need to do, I need to go to your channel. Okay, hold on. Maybe I can't do that right now as the host of the show. I might lose my whole show. So it's kind of hard to go to your channel, but I will subscribe, okay? I will subscribe to your channel as soon as the show is over, okay? And I'm looking forward to it. Just clocked out, and I recommend everybody subscribe to Stephanie Harrington's Gothic and Romance writings. Everybody go subscribe to her. Let's show our support for people that come into the chat and are supporting us and interacting with us. Dr. Insomnia just clocked out. Good. Good. I know you left me a lot of messages earlier, but you also said you'd be at work and didn't know if you would be here. So thank you so much, Dr. Insomnia. I'm glad we waited for you, Turned off anything making noise in my house for that moment of silence. Awesome, Jersey Devil. Yeah, Dr. Insomnia, I don't know if you saw it. We just shared a moment of silence for Ozzy Osbourne. Stephanie, look up Spotlight Music Review blog on Medium. Nice. James Redding, Rock and Roll Heaven. Absolutely. Absolutely. Stephanie, Harringtonio, Gothic and Romance writings. Right on. Something special or prison. Well, that's interesting. That Birmingham, that setting that they grew up in, all the guys from Black Sabbath. It was post World War II. England was used as a punching bag for German rockets and stuff. I mean, they were just bombing it to rubble. And it was post World War II. This is where they were growing up, still with the heavy shadow of World War II hanging over them. And it was just factories, and there wasn't much to look forward to. Just a factory job and work in a factory for the rest of your life. Geezer Butler was pretty bright. He got to go to some special accounting school toward the end of high school, and he went to work as an accountant. And until the band started getting some traction, and he quit being an accountant. His parents threw an absolute fit. They had no faith in the band doing anything. So anyway, Douglas Gilbert, do you have any rock magazines with Black Sabbath or Ozzy on the cover? No, I don't. Damn, I wonder why. I just don't buy that many rock magazines, to be honest with you. I've got 4 or 5 that were kind of special when I bought them, so I bought them. This was one of the biggest losses in recent history for me. Rest in peace, Ozman. That's exactly how I feel. Exactly how I feel, George. It's a huge loss. Huge. Oh my God. Look at this. Just the facts, man. Dan, brother Dan. Thank you so much, Dan. Just getting my notes out in case anybody's wondering what the heck I'm doing. So, just the facts gave me a super chat. Don't forget to mention our guest this Sunday, who is a personal friend of Ozzy. Absolutely, man. I wish I had that. If you could throw that video up here, I'll play that again. Yes, we are interviewing Paul. See if I can say his last name right. Gruen, Paul Gruen. Played with the Choir Boys, a whole bunch of other bands. I don't have my notes in front of me, but I'd love to replay that. Well, first of all, Dan, thank you so much for the super chat. I was not expecting that. That was absolutely amazing. I really appreciate it. Yeah, if you can put that video up, down below, I'll go ahead and play that for everybody again, because that's Sunday is going to come up quick. This is Wednesday already. We're interviewing Paul Gruen on Sunday. It's going to be a fantastic show. What an amazing guitar player, amazing slide guitar player. He is just, oh my, I had no idea how good this guy was. He's amazing. Played in all kinds of bands, knows all kinds of people. And let's see. Yeah, and he was a personal friend, as Dan says right here. He was a personal friend of Ozzy's, He's a hell of a musician, Dan. I feel really fortunate that we're going to be okay. Add to the stage. Okay. I'm not 100% sure what I'm looking at. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me put this up on the stage. Wow. Freaking amazing.
Hey there. So it's Paul Guerin here. Please join us in Royce in the House podcast on July 27th. I want you to watch it.
Dan, that is like so amazing, man. So amazing. What that slide playing of his, not just the slide, all of it, but I mean, the slide just blows my mind completely. Yeah, no, I'm really going to start pushing this hard tomorrow, and I'll have it in my community tab. I want to put the video in there and just really start pushing it. Keep running it on Facebook and mentioning it every chance I get. And I'm really looking forward to this interview. Really looking forward to it. And thank you so much for inviting me to do it on my channel. So folks, Sunday night, our normal live podcast time will be our interview with Paul. This is going to be great. So please join us. Everybody mark their calendars. Royce in the house. You and Michael are the best of the best. Thank you for all that you do. At Michael Nolan. George, thanks, man. You don't know how much that means to me to hear. Michael's such a superstar, and I appreciate those sentiments a lot. You have no idea. Kilo 19. That's interesting. How you doing, Kilo? What's up, brother? Everybody say hi to Kilo 19. And of course, we have our good friend Dwayne Chamberlain here. I enjoyed Ozzy being on the ghost hunting shows with his son. That's great. Hi, Dwayne. Kilo 19, the Prince of Darkness will never die. His legend will live on forever. That's a really good point, Kilo 19. You know, I've been listening to, Ozzy with Black Sabbath, early on, 54 years, 54 years. And you know what? I'm sure I'm not going to be around in another 54 years, but if I was, I would still be listening to. Somebody asked the question, will people be still listening to, Black Sabbath in 50 years? And my answer was yes, they will. How can I be so sure? I just think it's maybe every generation felt this way, but I just think our music is different. I remember my mother was still listening to Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby, and Perry Como was a big one that she liked. She was from New York, and so she was into all those guys. My father was straight up country, and they both, it was like born of two fathers kind of a thing, and they would both try to influence me to like their style of music. And this was when I was a little kid. This was before there was a whole lot of rock and roll. My mother says to me one day, well, don't tell your father I said this, but the country was considered kind of low class. And I never told my father. He would have been pissed off. So anyway, yeah, like I said, don't forget the Sunday live stream on Royce in the House. We will be interviewing. Wasn't that long ago we interviewed Mark Farner, lead guitarist, singer, songwriter, formerly for Grand Funk Railroad, who has his own solo band now. And what a great guy he was. And I'm really looking forward to interviewing Paul too. I just know he's going to be fantastic. Dwayne Chamberlain, hi Caitlin, Stephanie Harringtonio, Gothic and Romance Writings, got the Q special edition of Ozzy, but it's around 10 years old. Nice. Q specials were class. Absolutely. You know what? I want to make sure I've got your name written down, because I'm not going to be able to see the live chat again until tomorrow, and I want to subscribe to your show. So let's see. I had a friend named Tim Harrington. Gothic and Romance Writings. Okay. Okay. Well, we're gonna go through the chat and see if anybody else has anything new to say, and if not, we're going to say good night and goodbye to everybody. Looking forward to it. Thank you, George. Thank you. Appreciate it. Stephanie, George Pita, looks like a nice place. Yeah. Hello, rest in peace, Ozzy. Yeah, rest in peace, Ozzy. Hi, Groovy Lisa. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. We're interviewing a pretty amazing guitar player on our show on Sunday. We just played a video by him. I don't know if you saw it or not. What a big loss to metal and music in general. Absolutely. It's really, this has been a painful one for me. I've been a fan for, 54 years. Caitlin, I don't mind the Choir Boys. Sounded a bit like the Faces. Oh, right on. Nice to know. Okay, Tim Henry of Music Life. Everybody check his channel out. Throw him some subscribers too. Good evening, George and Groovy Lisa. Yeah. Check out Tim Henry's channel. Angela, hi Lisa. Hi Lisa. Hi Angela. Stephanie Harrington. Lisa. Okay, let's see if we can find the bottom of the chat. It seems like I'm always a few pages behind. It goes by so quick. But that's good though. It means there's a lot of people watching when you can't keep up. Kilo 19. Hey, I just want to one more impassioned plea to anybody out there that has not yet subscribed to Royce in the House. If you're not, whether you're watching now or may watch later, later date, tomorrow, the day after, next week, whenever you're watching, please do me a proper and hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost a thing, but it helps the show to grow. And we would appreciate that so much. All right. So thank you. Let's see. I went to the first show he allowed to play. Oh, in San Antonio after the Alamo incident. Yeah. It was a great lineup. Freaking rock. As much as I loved the Alamo, the story of the Alamo and everything else, I just couldn't get mad at Ozzy for that because I was such a fan. He said he didn't even know he was pissing on the Alamo. He just had to go, so he went. And somebody told him later it was I mean, that was his story as I recall. Yeah, this is cool. Okay, right on. Hello, Stephanie. Hit that like button, folks. Hit that like button. Let's get us out there. Get us out there into the hinterlands. That's what the algorithm does when you get enough likes. Ozzy even had his own personal Woodstock Lollapalooza Ozfest. He absolutely did, and it was a big hit too. Guitar playing, yeah. Wasn't that guitar playing amazing, Rockin' Robin? Yeah, I'm just really looking forward to meeting this guy. And he's a friend of Ozzy's. Damn. It's just all the stars seem to be lining up here for this interview. Hi, Groovy Lisa. Went to 3 Ozfests and saw Sabbath twice. Very nice, Dr. Insomnia. I am envious. I saw Sabbath twice, but I didn't get to see Ozzy solo anywhere. Okay. Whoop, Kilo, Stephanie. I saw Sabbath at Ozfest. Very nice. Paul is really good. Quite the resume, too, Rockin' Robin. Yeah, no, God, the minute he starts playing, you just know how good he is. Thank you, George. Sabbath unites the generations. Yep. Sabbath does unite the generations. Not everybody can do that. Old and young, they all like him. Okay. I will listen to Black Sabbath and Ozzy till the day I'm called away. Absolutely, George. Absolutely. I will be doing the same thing. I know I'll be listening in 50 years. 99 years old, me bothering the neighbors with snow blinded, high volume. That's awesome. Thanks, Jersey Devil. Even my mother loved Ozzy, and she certainly isn't a metalhead. Evening, Royce and chat. Hey, Winslow. How you doing, Winslow? Good. I'm glad you could show up and hang with us for a few more minutes here. Rockin' Robin. Stephanie. Caitlin. Yeah, so glad you could make it and join us, Winslow. We're kind of wrapping it up. I'm working my way to the bottom of the chat, making sure I leave no one's chat message untouched. Good night, Royce. This was a wonderful tribute you set up for Ozzy. Looking forward to your interview on Sunday. Thank you so much, Ben. Look forward to you being there, joining us, and having a good time. Thanks, Ben. Just the facts. Absolutely groovy, Lisa. Okay. Kilo 19. I meant to put Paranoid on. That wasn't Master of Reality twice. Just the facts, man. Smash the like button, folks. Do me a proper. Get us out there. Subscribe and share. Thank you so much, George. Yes, please. Dr. Insomnia. He was having his Davy Crockett moment. Get Royce to be on like it. Great Ozzy tribute, Royce. My Black Sabbath favorites are the first 8 albums with Ozzy. My special favorite is Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Piccolina, so good to see you. I'm glad you made it. Thank you. I always really enjoy seeing you here. My good friend Piccolina the Cat. Go check out the channel Piccolina the Cat and subscribe to it, everybody, please. Ozfest started a lot of bands. Yeah. Just shared. Right on. Thank you so much. Just the facts, man. You are so right, Kilo 19. If it's too loud, then you're too old. It's a really good way of putting it, George. Okay, Douglas, I didn't discover who Black Sabbath was until 71 with Master of Reality, the first album I bought. Right on. That was the year I saw him in was it 71 or 72? Yeah, I saw him in concert. If I'm not mistaken, that was the Master of Reality. They were touring for the Master of Reality album then. Good night, everyone. You are all awesome. Tim Henry, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate seeing you here. Have a good night, Royce in chat. Thank you, Winslow. Okay, Groovy Lisa in the house. Just the facts. Yes, he did. Yes, yeah, he did. He really did, Lisa. Piccolina, Stephanie. Okay, totally groovy, Lisa, Stephanie says. Okay, friends, I have found the bottom of the chat. Believe it or not, I'll continue to monitor it. And I want to thank everybody that joined us tonight. I appreciate it. Had a wonderful chat. Had a wonderful time with the chat. And I'm so glad, even though I'm a day late, that I got to pay tribute to Ozzy Osbourne, one of my favorite musicians of all time. So much wonderful music that I've been loving for years. So thank you, Ozzy. We'll never forget you, brother. We love you. And, you know, we're signing off, Dr. Insomnia. Good night, Royce. Thank you, Dr. Insomnia. Keep the house open a little longer. Okay, we'll keep it open a little longer. Oberheim, take care, everyone. Be safe and take it easy. Angela, take care, all. Okay. Dr. Insomnia is requesting we keep the house, Royce's house, open for a little longer. So we'll hang in here for a few minutes for him. Hang in here for another 5. Peace, love, and understanding from Angela. Take care at Royce in the house from my buddy George. Jersey Devil chimes in with tears, bears, and cheers for the legendary Ozzy Osbourne. Indeed, indeed, Jersey Devil, indeed. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Rockin' Robin. Always a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for the tribute to Ozzy. Thank you. I hope you guys liked it. I don't know how many hundreds have been out there already. It doesn't take long when such an icon dies. People are all over that, you know. James Redding, I'm making chicken dinner right now. Well, cool. Well, it just reminded me I haven't had dinner yet either. Sometimes I get to eat before the show. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't get to eat at all. You'd never know by looking at me. Anyway, all right. Okay, I guess we're going to sign off, folks. So thanks again for everybody that came into the chat, shared their great messages and thoughts. And please join us Sunday for that amazing interview we're going to have with an amazing guitarist that's played in a bunch of great bands and is friends with Ozzy Osbourne. That's a big plus for me right now. Mama, he's coming home. That's right. That's right. They're still gathering at a star on the Walk of Fame. Yeah, yeah. We didn't talk about the, you know, reality show he had and stuff like that. Actually, I wanted to, but I just didn't get it together, man. Time was going by so fast. I was calling people on the phone, trying to put some bids together. I was like, oh my God, I gotta pick up the pace. I used to love watching that show. George Pita, thank you again, Royce. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Really appreciate it. Had a great time. Glad I was able to have a little more time with the chat. And that's what's happening in Royce's world tonight. Thank you all so very much for joining me, and good night.